Alright guys, so welcome back to another video. So this video we are going over the hand traps that you should be or may not be playing. Sure should not be playing. In your side decks for the maze format. And real quick we will be going off of for the top decks we will be going off of the YCS Las Vegas results. For top 16, you had 22 Ryziel, 4 Malice, and 1 Blue Eyes. And then you had, 21 unknown decks. Then you had, for the top 8, you had 19 Ryziel, 4 Malice, and 1 Blue Eyes. So it looks like Ryziel was very, very dominant in the format. Um, which makes sense. So let's go ahead and let's get into the video. Let's go ahead and get into it. So, alright, so real quick before I do actually start this tier list, do know that all these hand traps are also by case situation. So let's say like if you're playing like for example Blue Eyes, it's common sense that you're most likely going to be playing Purge if you are playing hand traps. Um, Now that being said, let's also do realize that a lot of the Ryzio decks are actually going blind second now, which is interesting. Which it's playing nothing but board breakers, and then it's playing nothing but board breakers, which makes sense. And like the only hand traps they're really playing is Action Imperm, by what I've seen, um, which makes sense. So let's go ahead and get into the tier list. Epsilon, just don't. Um, it's just like if your deck really has to play this to out something, maybe you shouldn't be playing that deck. Nope, I can go main. I don't think this is main deck worthy. I think this is more main. I really think this is main, or I think this is more like side deck worthy. And hear me out. With results like this, the safest play for you to do is go Detonator Pass if you're going first. And I know this might seem odd. If you're Rising player, you're mostly going Detonator Pass. Because of the fact that you're not playing the Fiendsmith cards to facilitate the fact that you can counter Nib using Caesar. Um, so I legitimately think that Nib sort of gets worse. But I do think you should run it in your side deck. Just for the simple fact that if you do go against Malice, this is like the silver bullet that they can run across if you have it. I do think you side deck it if you do decide to play Nib. I don't think it's like 100% a mainstay. Like you gotta play Nib in your main, bro. It's crazy, bro. Because in all reality, like with pure Ryzo being the better deck, Nib isn't really as good. And even if that's the case, even if they do make Nib, even if they don't go Detonator Pass, if you can't stop the duo drive from resolving, what's going to happen is that even if you do get the nib, they're going to have the cross up to negate the nib. So nib becomes slightly worse with pure Ryzel becoming better. DD Crow, just don't play it. One, if you're worried about Fiendsmith, don't be playing this because Bitch is a whole lot better. But two, like, there's nothing like really good in the format to hit with DD Crow. Maybe it's not seeing some cards, but like you got Bestials for that, and you can play more Bestials. Like if you're playing Mal, it's like why are you playing this card? Chaos Hunter, you side deck it if you play it. I think Chaos Hunter is. I still think Chaos Hunter is a good card, but I think you play Chaos Hunter on top of Lancia just so you can guarantee that you see something against Malice, just because of the fact you don't want to that's like if the import gets made, it's really hard to crack it because on top of the field. You also got to worry about the graveyard interactions and then the amount of hand traps they can run, which is the reason why they can, like, the pure Malice deck can even run a play against. There is even why the pure Malice deck can even run and get play against Ryzeals because of the fact of how many hand traps that he can play. Um, I think if you're playing 7 Tachyon, or what you could do is you can, like, use 7 Tachyon too. That's even an option. But at the end of the day, like, if you're a Ryzo player, maybe if you're going for, maybe you don't gotta play this because you can search yourself 7 Tachyon. Yeah, options, or you can choose to play this, but I think you side deck this if you do play it. I'm not saying if it's a good card to play or not, but I do definitely say that you definitely do side deck this. You're not gonna main this, okay? Um, this is actually experimental along with this. I always think this is like experimental. Um, like there's just certain spells you just don't want to like resolve. Like for example, let's say if I ash something, if my opponent activates a talent, I would like, maybe negating talent seems like a really good idea. Um, I think, but I like you can go like two delta, one gamma, or three, or play three of these, one of these. Like if you ever like you don't play this on its own, you play this in intertwined. So this is why I put this over below this, because like to play this, you gotta like really justify it. So I think you have to play this. Um, but aside from that, I think this is experimental. Retaliating C, no. Just don't. Like your Ryzo opponent's gonna thank you if you drop this on them. Like you pretty much turn on thrust for free at that point. Contacts you actually think could be experimental. You could drop this on your You could, honestly, legitimately speaking, I think you could drop this on your opponent after they go X effect, and then lock themselves into rank 4s. Because at this point, this is a 6, so your opponent won't be able to out this if they lock them rank 4s. I do think there is actual, like, experimentation with Contact C. I'm not saying it's completely sidetrack worthy, but I do think it is experimental. So you could maybe experiment with this, and see if this actually is good in theory. Purge. I'm only putting this in main and side deck just because of the fact that not every deck can play it. Maybe like you could side deck it if you want to like play it going first. But I'm just putting it as main and side deck. I was about this. Main. Um, mm, Situational on the deck. There, that's better. Um, so yeah, but like like if you're playing if you're playing this and you can't get locked in it. Like if you're playing this is actually like this is a pretty good hand trap still. But like if you can't get locked into it, I legitimately think you should be playing this. Impulse, it gets worse, but if you side deck it, I still think you can side deck it. Let's say like especially like Malice, you can side deck it still. But with Fiendsmith like dropping in popularity, you can side deck this like the mirror matches like other Fiendsmith matchups. Ghost Spell just experimental. Like it's good in theory, but like you're more so like it's like what are you really ghost spelling? Because like you can ghost spell a you can ghost spell like malice, like a malice name or whatever. Like like for example, like you can ghost spell like a red ransom and they banish it, right? But this just does what that this just accomplishes that but better. Um, You can go and you can negate an engraver, summon back. Okay, cool. Bestials do that better. This does that better. Um, Aside from that, yeah, it's cool. Ghost Ripper and Winter Cherries, I do think this is still experimental. I think this is like experimental. Like I think maybe like if you're playing like a Ryzeo mirror match, I think you just do this and like show, oh, detonator, cool. The mirror match gets like 10 times as easier. So maybe actually, no, let me cook. Maybe there's some side deck potential for winter cherries, like especially if you're in a Rhizo mirror, because like you just like show detonator and it's like okay, cool. Like the mirror match gets like a whole lot easier for you to play against. So it's like, what do they go into in a mirror match if they don't have detonator? Um, they could maybe go like Baguska launch, but it's like still like maybe there's actual like side deck. I actually think Ghost Reaper Winter Cherries actually could see side deck play, unironically. And same thing like a Mouse Mirror match maybe too, right? Like if you go like if you do this call White Binder, it's like that sounds pretty fucking good. It makes the combo lines a whole lot harder. Um, Ghost Mourner. Okay. Let's. Can I make a? Oh, just gonna make this one blue. Um. Um. So, Ghost Mourner. I don't think it's horrible, but like I just think there's better options because with the next two, Valor and Imperm, I just think are like this. These two cards just do what this does better. Um. Now I'll put this over this for sure because like this doesn't turn on Talents, it doesn't turn on Thrust. This can get hit by Called by too. But like in all reality, like these two cars are just like a whole lot better than this. But like if you have the room, maybe you can fit it. But like I just don't see a world where you play this card over these two. But this card, maybe you could play this, unless I'm in a duo drive. You negate the duo drive and like sure, but like actually, what am I talking about? Just don't play this. Actually, just don't play this. Actually, I'm coping. Because like they're going to have extenders to make another duo drive. Like it's not that hard. Like let's not play this. Or like they're gonna go extenders like to make a detonator. Cool. And then side deck. I don't think you have to main. I legitimately just don't think you gotta main it. These cards just feel awful in the main deck to be honest, just because the fact that they're going second tools. Like you play these when you go second. Now if you're going blinds, like if you're going if you're going like if you're playing Tempai, yeah, like you're definitely main this. I'm just gonna put these here, but like I'm gonna leave this here, but I definitely think like depending on the deck you main this. Like, if you're specifically building to go second, then yeah, you play this card right here. Here just like here's the thing, is that just like Perilia, it's like this is just a mulligan, but like here's the thing, is that like for example against Malice, you go normal summon white, you go normal summon white, white rabbit, you can go normal summon white, Dormouse, Spanish white rabbit effect. You chain meows. Cool, they get one drive, then they're gonna go white rabbit effect, set GWC06, so you only get one draw out of this, and then they're gonna go in the IP with GWC set, so they have a SP play, or if you did this on the shifter for whatever reason, um, or let's say like you're on the shifter, um, then they can go for a crypto play on your turn, which is cool. But in all reality, like I think this is like experimental. Like I don't think it's because here's the issue. We're gonna go ahead over Lancia. You could play six. You could play just 3 and 3 instead of playing this. That's 6 copies of Lancia, pretty much. Like, one turns on thrust. Well, both turn on thrust, but this one, allows us to search a card. But, like, what are we doing? Like, what? You don't need to play this when you can play this, and you can play this and this. That's 9 cards to hate on Malice. Shoot, if you max out on Nibs, that's 10, 11, 12. And I think Nib is just a better card to play against Malice, because Nib just stops Malice in his tracks if they play hard into it. So yeah, and then Ash, you play. I think you play this over a Veiler. Droll, people are gonna hate me. Droll's just fucking insane. Don't even at me. I'm not even finna explain why. Um, Bonfire search, Droll. 7 attack yellow search, Droll. Guess what? Your opponent goes detonator pass. Cool. That's cool. Cool. You pretty much make it to where they can't search after that. So they do go detonator pass, cool. But like the board is like really, 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 really mid. And then bestials, it just depends on the deck, but like for example, Malice will like to play bestials because they're pseudo extenders, but Fiendsmith's like a whole lot worse, so the bestials get worse, so maybe you drop the count. But these are situational on the deck, so maybe like if you're worried about Fiendsmith, you can go like 1-3-1, maybe side deck this, but like this is a situation on the deck right here. And then Shifter, just side deck. Pure Rizal being a thing, well maybe. So here's the thing, with Pure Rizal being a thing, like forcing him to go Detonator Pass doesn't seem bad. Well, the issue is that like you gotta have a way to out the detonator too. That's the issue. So like maybe you just side deck this, and now people are gonna go, why did you say Droll's better? Because like here's the thing, why you say Droll's main deck worthy makes them go detonator pass? Because Shifter you can only use like once unless you got a Bestial. But thing is with Droll, you can use Droll as many times as you like. But Shifter on the hand is weird. And people go, oh, what about Malice? Bro, just side deck the Droll out whenever you go against Malice. Like what do I gotta say? But to be honest, I mean, this is what I view as a. Anyways, I legitimately think like these are the hand traps that you. Here's my hand trap tier list, just going off of these results right here. Um, so with that being said, this is my hand trap tier list for Maze of Memories. I do hope that y'all did enjoy the video. Please please consider liking and subscribing. If y'all did enjoy the video, and if y'all want to join my Discord down below, I do have a Discord. Um, hopefully once I get it up and going, I do plan on hosting maybe Um, weekly tournaments, and yeah. Aside from that, please consider liking and subscribing. And if commenting down below if you think there's anything I can improve on here.